sack of potatoes, you're going to pick it up out here, up here. So step into it and let your center carry.
And drop you down. I feel like I'm doing a lot of that.
I'll tell you why. Go ahead. Okay? Now, this distance did not change at all.
Right.
So you're picking up a sack of potatoes out here,
Right.
which means you have to change the way your structure of your feet are to be able to lift this weight up out here. But if I step into this weight, put my center through it, so step into it. How you doing? All right, come on back here. Yeah, we're doing great monster throws.
Greg told us.
Your distance, your knot distance is not changing. You're just coming in, boom, lifting and sweeping. Okay. So now what we want to do is turn, step in, but I'm going to close this distance on that step. Okay. So we're going to move. Wow. And once you take that thing, your center now attaches to his center. So that's what's doing the lifting and motion. So now,
Yes. Even more.
a lot of work. Wham. Just a little bit? All right. There you go. Okay. Your turn.
It's almost like
Ooh, Damon. Now, set his feet. A little earlier.
body closes.
Yes.
There you go.
I haven't seen it.
Real important.
There! You see how your mass is behind
Yeah,
you?
you want to be this is the position to throw double foot. Now, get that foot under you. Pop. The same thing happens on the advanced foot sweep, but at a different level. Put your foot forward. If I take it and just pull it, that happens. Okay? But if I keep it and cup it, you pull it up just a little bit. Especially if she didn't want you to have your foot. Now, don't let me pick your foot up. Just that little lip changes enough of the center to make it rock and throw.
Can you show us the first thing that you said about where your body needs to be for the double foot sweep? So, well, I mean, even when they're still.
Your body's naturally broken.
I want to take this foot and I'm going to aim
When you lift this foot up, your body rotates. So when
and
you're
that's going
stepping
to
in like
change
this,
this.
what is your body doing?
I literally sweep from the thigh to the calf to the foot.
I still don't understand how you're doing this time that this foot hits the floor. That's when you're going to do this.
That's when I'm stepping. Now what's that foot doing?
This one's
But I'm only sweeping that foot.
You're only sweeping this one just by touching this one.
They're together.
Okay. That's very hard to get, as you may have noticed over the last few years.
And Brian,
Think about it.
just being okay.
As you move here, boom, boom. If I aim for the timing on the front foot, most people focus on the back foot and they hit what? Too early or too late?
Yep.
They catch it. All right, Monte. We only got a couple minutes here. A question I have to deal with a lot in double foot sweep is making contact with that first foot. Nancy, she's got little feet. Okay, put your feet like this. Okay? So now she's taking her side step and she's moving forward. If I contact and try and sweep this foot at this point, what's the direction of angle? Sideways and
Down.
down. Her foot's going down under the floor. Okay? So we end up going. And plus, my feet are wide. They're outside my center, so I have no power out here. It's like this hand being out here and trying to pick something up heavy. So that's not going to work either. See? So I only want to shadow that foot. And I'm not even thinking about that foot when I make my sweep. I'm only thinking about this foot. So now she makes the next move and she has to close that foot. Oh! So this is just in the way. But we tend to want to go, I got to sweep that foot because it's there. That's what my foot's touching. That's what I want. It's just in the way. Even if she step back or step forward, don't do that. You get your leg broke or something. Something weird will happen. But it's just, boom. Those feet need to come together. And at that moment in time, everything's, that body rise and weightless and all happy and floaty. And then you just touch it. Bam. And they'll fall down right there. Unless you want them to go over there, then you're going to carry them and do something with your hands and your feet and your body to make them continue down that line. But I've thrown it and left them behind. Then have to come back to them because I don't want to carry them down there. Okay? Does that make sense? Very powerful throw. And then when you got, what about stiff arms? Well, then we got to go to a different application. But it's the same throw and the same principle. And we'll talk about that at another point. Right now, I want you to get with your goal partners, talk about what you've learned, make some notes, talk about what you might need to work on, write that down, then come back. Go.
Exactly.
Those are different. Coach, again, throwing the foot. OGs, catching the foot.
Right. And that ego part is what you're talking about. The part
I feel like I never really,
you can
I mean, I
actually
know this
experience
is like one entry artistic,
understanding.
but I don't really know how to look the opening for opening.
So then that should be on that paper too. Bring that question up.
And there's
Everything I teach is I teach off the spear.
Spear, okay.
All directions. In other words, on this particular drill, we're feet together. It's making like a circle like this.
Okay.
So if it's coming up, I'm able to do this at the same time. So with a spear, we'll work horizontal, laterally, forward, or backwards.
The energy's moving. The line of energy goes where?
The energy is moving this way.
My center is moving here. We want it to happen. Yeah.
So that's what I'm using. So that's what I can explain to people is basically a spear. Because if no matter how strong the guy is, once you get to a certain point, and if you're doing this, I can't, no matter what I do, if you go sideways or whatever you do, if it's a spear, I can't stop it.
Right. Oh, a circle. So the way your feet are, I can break here. I can break here. I can break here.
All three sides.
That's all I'm working out.
Is that
Perfect.
natural?
Two circles at the same time.
So make sure I was on the same page.
All right, circle out. Got sword swingers coming. Don't want to be in their way. So now we're starting to think and we're starting to work on stuff and more things are starting to come out, right? Like Nancy's comes. I need that OG because these principles all work to the foot sweeps where you take, if I hold a stick here, there's two kinds of foot sweeps. There's one where you take the bottom out from under the top, and then there's one where you take the top over the bottom. That's basically it. So now we're working on all the foot sweeps where the bottom comes out from underneath. Ochis, ochis. The only difference is the relationship. What kind of structure we have to make it happen. And of course, who we're playing, because we're going to throw big guys forward or backwards. Backwards. Ochies, coachies. Don't try to pick them up and throw them forward. You're too big, too heavy, too much work. Unless you just feel young and full of it.
It hurts.
Which takes me back to Illinois, Fort Wayne, Indiana, Nationals. 19-year-old kid, 540 pounds. We're in an arena-type stadium where all the audience is sitting like 12 feet, no, probably 15 feet above us. And they call this guy out, and he has to fight some guy that's a national champion. Heavyweight, of course. So, what does the guy try to do to the big guy? Okay. What does the big guy do? And the whole audience goes, how many times does he do that? Who won? Wrong. Little guy got the big guy to step out of bounds. I did the same thing. Okay? There's some people, you know, you can't throw a bowling ball. I'm sorry. I used to train with a guy, Ed Maley. Pictures in there. His son Keith and I used to travel all over, and they were both that tall, and Ed would sit and talk to us with a 100-pound dumbbell right here and a 100-pound dumbbell right here at 60. Okay? The guy would lay on the floor on his stomach, put his hands down, and press up into a full handstand. Okay? His nickname was the Bear. Well, his son was no different. And you can't get under them. And you can't catch their feet. All you can do is run. Okay? Back in the day. So there are people that are really hard to throw. The little guys, Dwan Stragles, that guy used to run me all over the floor. And all we could do was go to a hantai, and they'd always give it to him because he's a little guy. Couldn't figure out how to throw him. Okay? And the other part about those matches is it takes you out the full 5 minutes. Nobody wins, and it wears you out. Fortunately, that was the last match. Okay? So, then Hachiro Ishii, the guy I got to train with in Tampa, he was my wrestling coach. He was the All-Japan High School Judo champion. Okay? Hachiro could throw a tomonagi on anybody. He had just phenomenal ability to jump under you and pop you over. Then he would bridge and kick over and come straight into Tateishio while you're on your way over. Okay, and all of a sudden you're just locked by an octopus. And I got a lot of my groundwork stuff from him. And there's just some amazing genetic people out there that just learn from them. Play with them, have a good time. The guy would finish every practice with 3 sets of 40 pull-ups. And could drink beer like you wouldn't believe. Him and Masao Hattori. Masao, 130, they were both 136.6 pound wrestlers. Hachiro won 4 national wrestling, Greco-Roman, and freestyle championships and was most outstanding wrestler for those 4 years. Hachiro was, or Masao was a 2-time world gold medalist at 136 pounds. Me? Story of my days as a youth. But anyways, keep thinking, keep working. Long-term goals. Why do I still do this? Why do you do this? How long do you want to do this? Why are you still here? Good questions to think about. A lot of good answers. Something to write down. Okay? Hope y'all didn't eat too much. Could be interesting. If I stand and talk to this way, I understand the camera's at my back and all you see is the back of my head. So that's probably not good.
We've had quite a lot of those shots.
Yeah.
We can now have contrast.
The best part is that I don't stand and lecture for very long. because when I do, then you go to sleep, and then you don't want to get up and move again. I want to go over quickly, because I could spend probably 8 or 10 or 15 hours just on foot sweeps. And I know that would probably drive some of y'all nuts. But we got a few other things to cover. A big question was asked about Koji and Oji, and there's so many different ways to do these. And of course, me being not too short and not too small, I have a way to do these. And I've worked with a lot of small people over time, so the throws are different. The timings are different. But just on Koji real quick, when that foot comes out, do we walk in straight lines? No. If you walk on the beach and you look back and look at your footprints, they kind of go out, especially you pronators. Some people walk like ducks. I do. I know. I can joke and laugh about that. Okay? So most of the times we look at doing like Koji, and we want to pull it straight that way. And all that does is stabilize the guy. Okay? If I take the foot out here, laterally, it's usually a little bit more effective. Now, did you see that real long, stretchy thing? And you wish he would have stretched a little bit before I did that to him? Okay? That's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But if I get you stretched out here, where's your center? There's one between us, there's one under him, there's one under me. And I'm almost in a bad position to do this, but I can still pull it off. But if I've got his foot going out here, I've got him stretched out. Now if I just put a little tuck on that foot and pull it towards me, people fall down really fast. So I practice my Kojis just here, just touch. That's all I want is just a touch. That's basically how I practice. And you want to do that touch at the footprint. So I'm going to identify his footprint, and then I'm going to get the, whoop, that's too hard. Whoop, that's too early. Oh. See how much effect you have on that foot when it's just at the right time with just a little touch? And then you'll learn to catch it and pull it around. That's where that little circle comes into play, right at the end of that. Okay? That's real important when you make that throw. But practice your Kojis with just a touch. Now this foot is critical. If it's not under my hip, I'm off balance. If it's out here, I'm off balance. So now my effect is completely, I'm stabilizing on him more than I'm throwing it. If it's under me, I can catch it, but my foot will only allow me to sweep so far, depending on which direction this foot's pointed. If it's pointed here, I'm only sweeping that far. If it's pointed here, I can turn that way. If it's pointed here, I can go a really long ways. But we don't have the ability to make those changes in transition in the middle of a throw. So look for the footprint, listen, and feel the foot touch the floor. I can feel his foot touch right here in the grip. So then at that funk part, I know his weight's on it, and it's not going to do me any good to sweep it at that point. In fact, it's going to put a little ding in the bottom of my foot and make a little bruise there. But if I do it just before that ding, they fall down. And I'm using my hands how much? So get your hands out of the equation for now. We only really want to use our hands to protect ourselves. I'm going to talk more about these on hip throws here in a second. I talked about it a little bit last night with using your hands to move you. I don't want to move him at all because it changes where his foot's going to stop. It changes his footprint, and it changes my ability to move and where I can put my feet. So do this without your feet and give him no references. No gi. If he has no reference, he can hold me as tight as he wants. I don't care. But if I don't give him feedback from my hands, it's really hard for him. Now, long-legged people, I will step way out here on this line. I'll come out here and really pull that rubber band out. And you have to. Ouchi's no different. When this foot comes forward, I just have to change the relationship. The throw's basically the same. When he thunks, you know, not much is going to happen. But if I move here and pull it out, again on that line, and I make my step just a little bit differently with this foot. A lot of people, I think traditionally, it's like this foot comes out, and I want to come in here and hook. Okay? There is a time and place for that. But I like to take this foot and move out here as he's stepping out. Notice we're stepping, we're matching steps. I'm going to short step. Now as he comes out, I can move here and walk him out. That's a timing throw on that ouchi. And I don't lift the foot up. That avoids that. A lot of guys come into ouchi and they're up here like this, trying to throw something between an ouchi and an uchimata, and you end up going, and he looks at you, and if he sits down, he'll throw you. But if I just come out here, just keep those feet on the ground, just pull his feet out. Again, paying attention to his middle toe and trying to get out on that line as much as you can when you pull it out, people fall down. Now, he anticipates that motion, and this is important to understand in ouchi. I get into here and nothing's happening. How can I make this throw work? What does that mean?
Just you can step parallel with his two toes. That's the line. It's just me.
It becomes a whole different throw. I use my hands now and drop them here. So when you find your feet off the ground, or your foot off the ground when you hit that ouchi, let's say he takes a really big step, just take a big step, and I come in and go, it's not going to happen at this point. But there's a hole or a big void right here with nothing, and so I garuma, and he'll drop right into it. Just rotate the shoulders. That's real important because I teach ouchi, teach it, and people still come in here, especially guys that have done it for a long time and not done it the way I teach it. And so they'll end up with that foot up here, and all you got to do is boop, just drop them there, which is worthwhile to practice and put in your toolbox and train yourself for that motion. All right? So on the kochi, step out with it. And by me stepping, I'm touching feet at exactly the same time. Now I'm going to lead out just a little bit. See how he extended with me? And people will do that naturally. If they're not threatened, they'll walk with you. It's kind of funny. And then I'll just stretch the rubber bands. Notice my feet aren't going, it's just boop. And the ouchi. Here. It's just what I do. Boom. It's a real nice smooth transition. Just a back step. And real important, especially on little bitty tiny people, y'all should all try this with Nancy. When they have a little tiny inseam, getting your foot in there, you always do this. Okay? You have to come out away from them just a little bit so you can slip your heel in. If I slip it around, then I can take it. She's busy. But that little touch really helps. And most of the time we get our hips involved, and I come here and I stop the motion. I bump them backwards. Footprint. That's what I'm setting up to throw right there. So I just got to be here and wait. Bad timing. Actually, his foot hit my foot. I just got to be there knowing where the foot's going to touch and be there at the right space and time. And funny things happen just by understanding the footprint, anticipating the throw. Yes, ma'am?
It looks to me as if you're doing the throw not just with your foot, but with your whole hip. Like your hip is actually tracing that curve that I think of just doing with my foot. It's your whole hip is doing that.
Okay. When I make this motion, what's happening to the muscles in my core? I'm rotating. So I'm loading the spring. Now I unloose the spring. I load the spring, let it go. Load it, let it go. Happens from here down. And there is some going on up here, but nothing I want y'all to get excited about at this point. You need to understand that first. Then you need to understand the footprint. And then you need to understand uke going kaboom, which is nice to do on this floor. It doesn't kill you. All right, questions? That's a lot of information. If in your groups, and we've got a new guy. Were you here before? So we got a new guy. Who's down to 2? Y'all are down to 2. Oh, Susan's back. All right, who only has 2 in their group?
I wasn't here this morning, so we got a group.
Y'all have a group, but okay. Your judo experience is how big?
Cook's only got 2.
Yes. I'm down to 1.
You down to 1. So you 3 can play together. And then y'all catch him up to speed on where we're at with goals and how we're working. And then those of you that are in 3s, pick one of these that works best and explore the differences between you. All right? Does that make sense? You might like the Kochi, you might like the Ochi, you might want to go back and do the double foot sweep some more. Makes no matter. But just pick something and work with that with your groups for a few minutes. Okay? Hey! What are you doing? You got to anticipate his footprint. Okay? And I got to be there before.
Can you show us that? Amazing.
There's the footprint.
What are you doing?
Step. So your foot's coming forward. My foot's coming forward. Now I have to make sure you can continue stepping, and then I can reach. And then you continue your step, I help you.
So that foot doesn't really come far forward.
Can't. It goes to your footprint. Remember your footprint?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go beside your footprint. Here. Help it. And they'll just flow to the floor.
That's good. I mean, I can't do much against it.
It's really kind of cool.
It works.
That's a true foot sweep on Soto.
I'm getting here. I'm still bringing this foot. So I'm trying to bring this foot up.
Once you're in that position, this is going to be important.
But
You got to step. There you go. Now remember to use your hand to pull you. And that'll keep that tension with him coming forward.
Pull me.
Pull you into that move. too much power because you stop it. Remember, if I move here and I pull too hard, it'll drop that foot. So we're going to move with the same temper. He doesn't feel it.
No, sorry.
It's all fine. As long as you're throwing to the rear, the ride has to be thrown in the front corner. So you're fine. Not even that hard. Look how fast he's moving. Oh, you're fine. I had you. Now feel this tension right here. That's confusing your brain. Okay, because you're wanting to be close and do that. Now, don't go through it. Go around it.
And I just come here, I'll write either way.
You can't stop that motion.
Oh, what do you do?
And he goes here.
Well, the key is
That way I start.
so I'm just here.
Right.
As soon as I said to him,
See how I go over? I'm going to keep walking back.
There you go.
That's the
Now I'll show you something really good. Okay. When that foot steps back, as soon as it touches the ground, your other foot's trying to move. Okay? Because it's thinking it's going to step. If I just touch it, and it doesn't matter how big and strong and rough and tough and mean they are. You just
Load them on that foot.
loads them right on that foot. And you pull yourself right through the Ate! All right, talk to your partners. Talk about what you like, what you don't like. And in other words, not what you don't like, but what's not working for you. Because what doesn't work for you now may work 10 years from now. Because judo just evolves and your body evolves and who you're working with changes and different things just start working for some reason. Talk about what you like. Write it on your paper. Talk about what didn't really feel so weird. Go to the opposite end. And then come up with a question for me.
That's actually pretty close. Those foot just touch the ground. Notice how that foot just went through, get the floor, and then your hip came up. And they just caught that hip.
Stepping back your hands.
I have to anticipate lining up for that foot. I have to get my body in the right place to be able to throw the foot. And it's got to be quick, but it's got to be done in such a way that I don't get a boot gauge. And then everything else is a blur. So I can't have tight hands. It's just got to be so loose. Yeah.
And had that part in.
Is how that works.
Which I,
It's really kind of weird.
that's what caused it to.
Your body goes, no, wham! Yep.
Yeah. And when he's talking
That help?
about.
Okay, question.
Which is longer, your leg or his arm? The leg. So I can step all the way out here to infinity and I can still reach. And it still becomes Osoda. Make sure you point your toes. It's fun to get out there. They think, you're not going to. Oh, yes, I am. And on foot sweeps when they're being really stiff, And all you catch him with is a knuckle of your big toe. Bam! Sorry, it still works. Okay. Get in your groups, and I want you to talk about what makes a choke happen. Shimewaza. Flow to the brain. Any different answers?
Positioning. You don't have the right positioning, it doesn't work.
Positioning. So you don't have to interrupt the blood flow to the brain?
No, but you won't interrupt the blood flow to the brain if you're not in the right position.
Okay. So you have to have a position to interrupt the blood flow. So it doesn't just happen. You don't just walk along and it stops, you're choked unconscious.
Unless you're Darth Vader and you say,
Okay? So we have interrupt blood flow, position.
Control of your opponent's body, like if their reactions, like they're flailing and stuff, that helps you get in position. You can anticipate or tell
I mean, they're not going to let you do it because you want to.
Precision?
Precision is nice. Accuracy, control, position, interrupt blood flow.
delivery of energy,
Delivery
small
of
surface area over the entire body.
You need a good base. You want to do it by compression. And
What do you mean by base?
then, like say if their head was and their shoulders was on the mat, you have a good base to be able to hold them down, to be able to get hold of their collar.
You've got to have some stability somewhere.
Yeah.
You got to control them before you choke them.
Yeah.
Okay, which means both of you probably need a little bit of base and control. Yes, sir?
You have to get it in the right spot. You can't just apply it anywhere. You have to find out where the carotid arteries are. Those are your targets of what you want.
Carotid arteries, so you've got accuracy again. Then you got the precision of the placement of the position with the proper base and control. Did I leave anything out?
I have the right structures.
Structures.
You want the right structures to do it with, because if you use the wrong structure in the right place, it's still a...
It doesn't happen. Okay? So, how do you choke somebody in judo?
It's a cheap high, y'all. It's okay.
You're not allowed to choke anybody unconscious anymore in tournaments.
You're not allowed to?
Nope.
Where do you?
You have to tap.
Oh, I see. People have to tap.
Yeah, they're relating chokes now to having mini strokes in the brain.
Yep.
So we want you to stop. They don't know what it does exactly. You can tell by looking at me. Okay? I've been choked plenty. Oh man, first time I choked Sagita, whew, that was not a day to remember. When he woke up, I hit every square inch of that mat. Holy cow, he was mad. Never bruised Sensei's ego. And it was a full out. He was shaking, choke. He didn't know where he was when he woke up. But when he figured it out, it was not pretty. And they don't give up either. They will not quit. All right? So, basic positions. What are they?
Thumb in, thumb out.
Get with your group. Go over some basic positions.
What else is for that?
Now, if you're not big on chokes and you don't have a lot of judo experience in your group, best way to get a choke.
The way they don't anticipate.
What?
The way they don't anticipate.
The way they don't anticipate, sneak attack, however you can get it.
The way it works.
The way it works, you almost have to fall into it. That's one way to think about it. Can you create a choke?
Yes.
Absolutely. Okay, so what's the best way to create one? extend the movement.
And then extend their chin out.
You want that chin up somehow, you gotta do something with that.
Get them worried about something else.
Something else.
Get them worried about something else. Where do you have the most trouble with chokes? From behind or the front or the side? Or upside down?
Okay, or authority's point of view. Yeah.
Upside down stuff.
For me, it's kind of just a general, like if we're just sitting in front of each other kind of drilling chokes, I feel somewhat competent, but if I'm ever doing it in more of a free grappling situation, it seems like I have trouble finding them, and if I kind of see one, I'm not able to lock it up as well.
Why?
I don't know.
I don't need to see. So I need a specific instance. What choke in particular?
In particular one, I just thumb in, the one in, one out, pulling down, just
From the front?
yeah.
Okay. First of all, in my experience, if you're trying to choke somebody and they see your hands, they're immediately on defense. Don't show them their hands. Second, don't threaten them. If you see strong hands coming at your neck, are you going to react to it? Of course. Your brain's going to go into fight or flight, and either one is bad. Because they're going to figure it out. And then it's too late to really try to affect the choke unless you're He-Man. Okay? So how can you not threaten a setup or a position?
Look like it's a
Make
it not look like it's a setup.
Make it look like a setup. Keep your hands out of their field of vision. Bait them.
Don't use your hands anywhere else. Because I just have an idea if they feel you gripping everywhere else, they're going to feel maybe walking up the body or something like that.
I will do all kinds of crazy things. Okay? Damon. Let's turn around so they can see. Now turn around. We're doing it from the front today. No, get on. Get up. Get up. Get up. What? I ain't gonna do this stuff. You gotta come in and attack me.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah. Get out of here. One of my favorite ways to start a choke is just to go right there. Okay? Now, am I gonna choke? I don't know. Don't really know. Because I'm setting him up for a really nice Jujigatame. Okay? So now, he's going to react. He's going to push on my hands. He's going to do stuff. He wants to come under, but he's not dealing with my hand yet. He didn't do anything with my hand. Silly boy.
You choked you just like that?
Just walk into it. And sometimes you'll get people that do that. It's okay. And how much pressure did I really use with my hands?
None, man.
Very little. Nancy, what happened to you earlier?
I got choked out for
She
the
went
first
99.
time ever. A gentle little practice.
Okay, how hard was he working?
Not very hard.
Not very hard. It takes very little energy to create a choke. So if you come in with a lot of power and a lot of strength, Damon's going, I don't know what's happening. All I did was cinch him in just a little bit. Now I'm going to come over here and play just a little bit, but I really don't have anything, which is fine. I don't really care. See how I changed his position and his face got redder and that vein's popping out now? How long did that take?
Well,
Took a while.
once you put it on, not very long.
Right. But he still didn't do anything to my hands. Okay? He lets me do this. All right, so now he's not wanting me up there anymore. Smart boy. Okay? So now I come into here. Oh. Where's my hand? Oh. Where's my hand? So he's controlling the arm, controlling the hand. Oh. 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 And this is a fun game to play, by the way. Oh, he wants one too.
Okay, choke rondori. Really fun way to play. Don't forget to tap. I'm not using strong hands. I'm staying off the trachea. He can fight as long as he wants, or he can tap whenever he wants. And just play with positions. Front, got him sideways. Choke, got him sideways. If you gotta stop, stop. Say, how can I work this? Work through it. Continue on, or set it up again. Drill it. And then move on. Don't work any harder than that. Okay? The rule of rondori. High rank to high rank, 1 to 1. High rank to low rank, 2 or 3 to 1. Let them get more on you than you get on them. Practice, move, then change partners. Look at your positions. You all seem to have pretty good knowledge of what it is. Now it's a matter of finding the position and creating the position. Okay? Oh. Damon, you turned me off.
I'm sorry.
How was that? So, get a partner.
You can start up or down, back to back. One on the back, one on the front. You got to control his body, remember? Control, position.
An interesting thing.
Don't just go for the snap.
But, you know, might learn something.
Try and get out of the arm bar. All right. So that's it.
Okay, we break arms first, then apply the choke.
It works. Very effective.
So on mine.
It's hot. That's interesting.
All right, change partners. It just kills that whole hand. He can't move his arm anywhere because it's posted on the floor.
I know, but we were asking for it.
Now where's your control? You got to control his body. He can still push you with his legs and get you off of him. It's real hard to choke.
There's another way you can put your hand inside of your biceps.
There you go.
Put your hand on the side of your head.
Or bring it down behind here.
There. Yeah. There you go.
And just pull your elbows in.
Right. If I can roll it in.
Mate, change partners.